You were, and always will be, my little chaotic dancing star. That's the truth. Even if it's only my truth.
Howdy, Professor.
Hi, Olga. What's going on with you?
I just remembered something. I thought you might find it interesting. I was guiding a group of biology researchers from America a couple years ago. I showed them around the Red Forest and everything. They were taking measurements, and one guy told me that the trees had barely changed since the incident. I hadn't really thought about it till now, but it really does feel like this whole place is a snapshot of the past, like a butterfly caught in amber.
That's probably due to the radiation. It almost wiped out the microorganisms living on the forest floor. There's almost no decay, so the trees don't rot like they normally would. I mean, they are decaying, but extremely slowly.
So it's almost like time stopped in the Red Forest after the explosion. I find that weirdly romantic.
Not my kind of poetry, but I can appreciate the sentiment, Olga.
I can see things, Mousy.
Are you okay? You don't look so hot.
The terror courses through me. Present, past, future. A tormented, hungry beast about to burst free of its cage. A volcano of unstoppable force. Hellish green light and poisonous vapors.
Is this in the past or the future?
Future? Past? These distinctions are meaningless before a terror from out of this world. We awoke something that night in 1986. Something so alien. It is almost beyond our comprehension.
Beyond comprehension? I don't think so. We'll get to the bottom of this eventually. Everything has a scientific explanation.
Remember, Igor, this isn't just some stuff for you to power your fancy gun. It's so much more. You need to be ready for anything, Mousy.
Hey there, Tarakan.
But of course, I can.
Actually,
how are things, Professor Kim?
not too bad, Sashko. Not too bad.
I've been thinking about my brother Rustlin recently. He'd make a great addition to our team.
You were both in a street gang, right?
For a while, yes. We ran errands for Yuri Kipish, a dangerous gangster. He was fucking nuts too, of course.
I see.
I know you're trying to be polite, Igor, but there's no way to understand these things unless you've lived through them yourself. I'm talking about ongoing turf wars between every type of gang. Russian, Kyrgyz, Thai, Vietnamese, you name it. Everyone trying to get a piece for themselves.
What about the police?
They stay well away unless they have urgent business there. You know what I mean? Anyway, me and Rustlin were right in the middle of it. Every day, something was going down. You run, you sweat, you fight, you kill, you bleed. You get hooked on the adrenaline, like a drug. Rustlin had a special talent. He could make a person disappear without a trace. That would have come in handy around here on several occasions. We all followed a code, of course. Even wild animals have rules. You're familiar with the Thieves' Code of Conduct?
Where criminals forsake their families and dedicate themselves to crime?
That's right. Rustlin would never hurt anyone who wasn't in his way. But that kind of life takes you dark places no matter what.
You think it took its toll on Rustlin?
Possibly. That's why I have to face him, to find out.
Namas fucking tay, Igor!
And good day to you, Mikhail. I saw you fooling around with some cards earlier. Are you a gambling man?
These are tarot cards.
Huh? Are you moonlighting as a gypsy? Where's your crystal ball?
Oh, let me think where I left it. Oh, now I remember. It's up your asshole. You don't like anything that doesn't fit with your mind-numbing scientific worldview, right?
I don't like superstitious nonsense without any basis in reason or fact.
You can bet your skinny little ass there are things around here that can't be easily explained. You should keep an open mind instead of just burying your face in books. The tarot can be a powerful fucking tool if you let it.
Okay, I'll bite. What does the tarot say?
I actually already pulled a card for you today. The Lovers! Nice! This card can have multiple meanings. There's the obvious one.
Me and Tatiana?
Very good. But it also means having to make a choice. One that will have consequences you cannot foresee. I'd have to pull a second card to get into it. Should I do that, Igor?
I think I'll stick with my mind-numbing scientific worldview. Thanks anyway.
What's new, Igor?
Nothing much. What about you? Still thinking about Anton?
Yeah, we had some great adventures together as mercenaries.
I remember Anton talking about Kasham. What was that all about?
Kasham was a nasty piece of business. How much do you know about the civil war in Syria?
Not much. I've had other things on my mind.
You and the rest of the world. Nobody cares about those people. For the big players, Russia, the US, China, most of these war-torn countries are nothing but a playground for testing their weapons and making policy. It's called war by proxy. Us mercs usually play a supporting role to the armies on the ground, supplying intel, equipment, and tech. There's an unspoken rule that we never attack each other directly, but sometimes we get in each other's way, and then things can get out of hand. That's what happened in Kasham. Assad's forces, backed by Russian mercenaries, clashed with the SDF, which was supported by the US. The US used dozens of drones, fighter jets, and helicopters to pretty much annihilate the opposition. Anton and his mercenary buddies weren't equipped to deal with that kind of air superiority. He watched some of his friends die, and came close to getting killed himself.
I admire your bravery and dedication, Olivier. And Anton's. Still, I can't help but wonder why we keep killing each other over some godforsaken strip of land. It goes against everything I believe.
And I admire your idealism, Igor. But you're in the minority, and sometimes violence is the only way to solve a problem. That's something I think you're going to learn in the near future.
Do you think you could find some time?
I don't...
Maybe some other time.
You're the boss, Eagle.
What can I do for you, Professor?
Hi, Olga. I was wondering if you could share some of the know-how you've picked up in the zone.
I'd be glad to. But here in the zone, you must be self-sufficient. You don't want to end up worm food.
Fantastic. I'm ready to learn. Oh, great huntress.
No jokes while we're trading or I'll smack you upside the head. Got it? All right, here we go again. Time for the next lesson, Igor.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be even more fascinating than the last one.
I advise you to take this seriously. You wouldn't make fun of someone teaching you how to handle C4, would you?
Probably not.
Of course you wouldn't. So imagine this. Every piece of junk you stash is a brick of C4. You have to place it gently, wisely, and efficiently, otherwise it'll explode.
To my knowledge, canned food doesn't...
Don't interrupt. Why do you take everything so literally? It's a goddamn metaphor, goddammit. If I ever get to meet Tatiana, the first thing I'm going to ask is what she ever saw on a tedious egghead like you.
You and me both.
Anyway, you have to be careful and mentally present when arranging your shit. Trust that your life depends on it. That's lesson number 2.
Okay. What's lesson number 3?
It's called believe.
Believe in what?
Believe that you will find whatever you need in your bag without checking. Women practice this all the time. What do you say, student?
I want to... believe.
Nice job. It's so great to work with someone who actually cares. I'm tired of whiny people's bullshit. What can I do for you, Professor?
I'd like to
Sure, Igor.
Igor, it's not the end. I won't let it end like this. Go. Die. Fade. Portal. Help. Die. Igor. These events have not happened yet, as the future is not predetermined. Come back later, Igor. Kostya asked you to give him food for the Samoshils so he could incapacitate Matvey and run the village differently. You thought he had a valid point and agreed to his plan. You successfully brought the food back, but weren't sure whether you should tell Olga about Kostya or not. You asked her to join you, and Olga agreed. You reached the supplies, but someone else got there first. You let him take the food and leave. You reached the supply. Tarkhan asked you to burn all of his notes. Instead, you tried to find... Let's move the pieces on the cosmic chessboard, Igor.
You will make time once you see the truth. But never mind that for now. You have questions? Ask.
What's the story about the Duga radar? Why do you want so badly for it to be destroyed?
I wanted you to remember, and I wanted you to make a choice. I needed to make sure you won't follow the Rat King's path. Quiet, Mousy. They're here. Oh, you never expected the second test to come so fast, eh? Let's hurry, Mousy.
If NAR discovers these documents, they'll realize we've been monitoring them this whole time. Burn it. Burn it all. Do it now. We cannot take any chances with those bastards on the rats, Mousy. Here's another opportunity to show what you're made of.
You met with Professor Semenoff, your old mentor, in the Kopachi kindergarten. He tried to convince you that he's only a lesser scientist with the NAR, and that he came to Kopachi to find some old documents. You believed him. Igor! Igor! I need you. I need you now.
Tanya?
Meet me in the Pripyat residential area.
Hello, Mousy. Ready to continue our great work?
We need to talk.
Sure. Let's talk.
It's about my mother. Rather, about what she found. I didn't tell you this before, because I didn't know if I could trust you. I think I know why they took my mom. She was dangerous to NAR. It wasn't a coincidence. She saw something, even took a photo. You see, when NAR first came here, they pretended to be friendly. They offered free examinations to several sample shells, and even promised my mother medical assistance. It was all a ruse, of course. My mother was invited to their lab, and she ended up seeing something she wasn't supposed to.
She was inside their lab. You should have told me about this sooner. Do you know what she saw?
They were running experiments with Chernobyl light on human subjects. All volunteers, of course. Soon after that, people started vanishing, my mom included.
Do you still have the photo?
No, my mom always kept it on her.
Is there any other proof to back up your mother's account?
No, but I can't see my mother lying about something like that. She only ever had the Samuelshell's best interests at heart. My mother was the least selfish person I've ever known. She wanted to help everyone who suffered from the Chernobyl disaster in any way she could. She paid the ultimate price for her kind heart. Now, I have to find out why and make this right.
I get it. Really. She sounds like an amazing lady. How can I help?
I know it's a lot to ask, but I need to know what my mother saw in that lab. I need you to go to Lenin Square and get inside. There must be something there incriminating NAR. This will help your search for Tatiana as well. If she's in the zone, she must somehow be part of all of this.
It won't be easy, but I'll definitely try.
Igor, a moment, please. I heard you talking to our she-wolf here. You don't want to go to Lenin Square. I don't think you're ready. Who knows what you'll be up against?
I think I've proved myself quite capable, no?
You can harness the power of Chernobylite. An impressive feat. But what if they find a way to disable it?
I've been taking risks pretty much since the beginning. It's the only way forward.
I admire your grit. But I've seen guys like you in the field. They never quit. Until they're dead.
you so long. Find me. We belong together. Take my hand. I'll show you a new world. A world that you've never seen before.
All dead. Stuck in Chernobylite crystals. Crushed. Suffocated.
Why did you abandon me? Do you really have to go to this get-together tonight?
You know I do, Tanya. Semenov will be there, and some big shots from the party, too.
So take me with you.
I wish I could, but...
Why not? Is it some kind of boys' night out in the city?
What? No, we'll be discussing plans for the power plant.
Over vodka, I presume.
Well...
Fine. But if you come home blind drunk, you can go straight to the couch.
Come on, guys. The sooner we finish, the sooner we can get the hell out of here.
Stop daydreaming, Stepan. Any sign of those ugly motherfuckers?
What? No. The coast is clear. We don't need to worry.
It's my job to decide if we should worry or not. You watch the goddamn perimeter, Styopa.
Hike his ass! Help over here! Fuck! Fire Will!
Pripyat Secondary School number 3. The biggest of the 5. My friend Nadia's daughter used to go here.
I remember. They had an outstanding program. Art, languages, and most importantly,
Science?
naturally. I bet you can still find a portrait of Lomonosov or Newton hanging up there.
Cute. But that's not all they taught us at this school, is it?
What are you getting at?
Propaganda speeches, military drills, preparing little kids for World War III. What do you do when the evil capitalists drop an atomic bomb on your house? Duck and cover. No. You put on your gas mask and marching boots, grab a rifle and rush the enemy. You kill it. You crush it. You annihilate it. Even when you die, you're not free. So when the party commands it, you rise up from the dead to fight it again. And most of all, you keep your mouth shut. All your life, you protect the state's secrets. Then you take them to your grave.
Those were different times. The Cold War mentality and us versus them routine. A lot has changed.
But has it? Really?
Yes, it has. We live in a new world now.
Look around you. How is this new world working out for you? These children, they were raised to fight the enemy. But how do you fight an invisible enemy? You can't see it. You can't taste it. Yet, you can feel how it penetrates your body, corrupts you from the inside. And you, Igor? Who are you fighting against?
Everyone and everything that stands between me and you, Tanya.
And what if you're wrong? What if the enemy is you?
What are you saying?
Time to move, Igor. We're done here. The Azure swimming pool. It brings back so many memories.
Tatiana Fomina Amelieva, youngest freestyle champion swimmer in Pripyat. You know, I sometimes think you missed your calling. It would have been best if you'd pursued a career in sport.
Give me a break. I was never going to be another Galina Prozumenchikova. I never would have won any Olympic gold medals. For me, it was always about this feeling of freedom. Being able to float and become weightless. That was my refuge.
Swimming. Yes. You always wanted to teach our...
Say it.
I can't.
Do you think you would have made a good father, Igor?
I don't know. You tell me.
How do you know I'm not just a voice in your head, my love? There are things you need to figure out by yourself. Unfortunately, I can't help you.
Okay. All right. Yes. I think I'd make a good father. I would do everything to protect our child. Everything to keep him or her from drowning.
Like you kept me from drowning?
That's not fair. Why? Why are you doing this?
I'm not doing anything, my love. You're doing it to yourself. Come, Igor. We still have one more place to visit.
Quantum traces of the portal generator. He must be close. This is not going to end well for him. Full of surprises, but it's not over yet.
Remember this place?
Oh, it's our old apartment. How could I have forgotten it?
Perhaps you wanted to forget. Perhaps you needed to forget, Igor. It used to be our past and future, both. But it's just an empty shell now.
I wonder what happened to all our stuff. My desk, my books, your violin.
Who knows? It's all gone now. Stolen, ruined, torn apart.
It must have been extremely irradiated. It would all be worthless anyway. The liquidators probably removed it all. They had to bury it. Or perhaps some low-life smugglers took it. People are so predictable. They'll snatch up whatever they can carry if the opportunity arises. I once heard a story about a guy who stole a window because...
I don't care about any stupid windows, and neither do you. You're only trying to distract yourself with those pointless little anecdotes.
From what?
From what you should have faced the minute you came back to the zone. Instead, you chose to run around like a cowboy and fight a bunch of mercenaries and unravel the secrets of Chernobylite. When it's been right here all this time, staring you in your face, the truth about us.
It's just an empty apartment, Tanya.
It's the truth.
How's the shooting practice going, Igor?
Quite well, actually, thanks to your pointers. You're a great marksman, Olivier. Did you learn all that when you were with the Canadian Special Forces?
JTF-2? No, of course not. You have to be a hotshot already when you apply. I learned to shoot even before I joined the regular military. My father often took me hunting in the woods.
So your father taught you how to shoot?
The old man taught me many things. How to be a total asshole, for example. I remember the time I told him I'd been passed up for promotion. The worst part was, he wasn't even angry. He said it was exactly what he'd expected to happen. We were out looking for a duck blind, and he marched right in front of the barrel of my shotgun. He was an experienced hunter. He knew not to do that. He paused right there in front of me, looked at the gun, then at me, and he smiled, maliciously. That old bastard wanted to provoke me. God help me. I almost pulled the trigger.
But you didn't. You're your own man, Olivier. You can't let your father's opinions define you.
You're probably right, but it's still hard, even after all these years.
developments, Professor?
Slowly getting there, I guess. Yeah, there's something I've been meaning to ask you.
Shoot.
What do you think about Olga?
Playing matchmaker, Kim Nuke? I thought you were a serious science type.
I'm just curious.
Normally I'd say it's none of your business, 'cause it ain't. But I like you, Igor, so... Yeah, I do like her. She's cool. She's got her own special swagger. But I can't allow myself any distractions right now.
Gotcha.
Besides, I don't think she's available, if you know what I mean.
Sure. Just don't wait too long, Sashko. Life is short, and no one knows what tomorrow will bring.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Cut it with a melodrama, Kim Nuke. Really doesn't suit you. We'll be just fine.
So, what does it do, Mousy?
What does what do?
Your magical thingy. Your fancy device. Orana?
Ariadna. It uses low-level radiation measurements to reconstruct past events.
Something like radiocarbon dating.
You surprise me, Tarakan. How do you know about these things?
I don't know, Mousy. They sometimes come to me, unconnected memories and bits of knowledge. The Rat King must be blocking them somehow.
Okay. You're not wrong. It's like carbon dating, but a lot more advanced, and in 3D. You see, every object is a dosimeter in a way, absorbing different types of radiation every millisecond. Ionizing radiation of thorium, potassium, uranium, and even cosmic rays. When it does, it creates a radioactive echo in time and space. With enough data, this echo can be traced and recreated using the Fractal VR simulator.
Does this mean you can see the past, Mousy? Is that how you hope to find out the truth about Tatiana and yourself?
That's the idea, yes.
A wise mouse once said, if you want to discover the truth, you need to ask yourself, what is truth? What you're looking for may not be what you find, Mousy.
That's a risk I'm willing to take. Nothing is more important to me than Tatiana.
Don't be so sure, Mousy.
What's shaking, Igor?
I've been meaning to ask you something, Olga. What was your life like before all of this? Did you have close friends in your village?
Sure, we've always been a tight-knit group. Being able to rely on your fellows is key when you're living under constant threat. But it was very different back then, when my mom was still alive. The exclusion zone was our sacred ground. We wanted to be here, to explore and learn. I was a spoiled, demanding brat. I was acting out, was angry all the time, and I couldn't come to terms with my father's death. That's when Matt Bay took me under his wing. He taught me useful skills and showed me a way through the grief.
Sounds like you owe him a lot.
I do. In a way, I owe him my life. I had to get my life back on track, for my mom, and for myself, of course. Matt Bay's kindness made me the woman I am today, a survivor, a hunter.
That was very personal. Thank you for sharing, Olga.
Sure, you know I'm here if you need me.
Hi, Olga. I was wondering if you could share...
I'd be glad to. But here in the zone, you must be self-sufficient. You don't want to...
Actually...
What's going on, Igor?
What's up, my bud?
I was just thinking, Mikhail, how did you get to be so knowledgeable about herbs and plants?
Why? What's so goddamn strange about that?
I never said it was strange. I'm just curious. You created your own compendium. No small undertaking.
I studied a lot, you know.
You studied botany? At what school?
Best fucking school there is. The University of Life.
I see.
Give me that look. You can trust everything I wrote down, to the letter. I've always been into plants and mushrooms. All different kinds. Everything in my compendium has been tested by me personally. So if you've got a problem with any of it, you can stick it where the control rods don't shine.
Really? But some of this stuff must be poisonous.
Well, I have a strong stomach. But yes, I've had my share of accidents. Luckily for me, my stalker friends were there to save me. Adrenaline and gastric lavage are my bosom companions.
Sounds serious.
How else would I know what's edible? It's a little something I call the scientific method. You should check it out yourself sometime. Wait, aren't you a scientist?
Ingesting unidentified plants and mushrooms doesn't sound like the scientific method. It sounds like suicide.
But I'm here, though, am I not? That means I'm right.
Okay, fine. I just hope my stomach is as strong as yours. Mikhail, you've been a...
Perhaps a fucking gathering and preparing her...
Actually...